So some of you might know us, but for those that don't, or you're like, yeah, I kind of know who they are, we do have data. And our US local advertising forecast is a look at all the local TV markets and radio markets in the US for 16 different media and 96 different verticals. Why do we do this? Well, it helps you understand the dynamics in local. It gives, that's where we give our trends and analysis. It helps you understand share of wallet by different media. So, how much does social have? How much does mobile? How much does radio? How much does TV? Next slide. And when we talk about media covered in BIA, this is what we have of the 16 media. This is just a list. Christina mentioned there was a handout that covered the US forecast, and that's what you're going to see in that handout. Next slide. Additionally, these are the 96 categories. There you go. I'll just give a little second for everybody to kind of glance at it. We are adding to this all the time, but we really look at the localized selling and what those categories look like, and that's what you're seeing. Next slide. So we talked about the national forecast, which covers all the markets in the US for TV and radio, but we also cover the 16 media and the 96 different verticals for every single market. So like I'm in Houston, so for Houston, Texas, we have the data for that. We have it by 16 media and by 96 different verticals. So just to give you an idea that it's not only the national view, which you probably see a lot, but we also have that local view by market. And that's what we're going to talk about today, our BI data and how you use that to budget. Next slide. So again, what does that mean for budgeting? And this is where we're going to get into it. Why would you need the BIA data? Well, we have your local market view. It helps you benchmark, help against what you already know, helps you look for opportunities and look at your share in the local space and help you identify local businesses and other media that might be opportunities or threats to you. So with that, let's just jump in and see how we do that. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the big picture. So we're going to look at the pool that you're swimming in. So we're going to show you how BI data can identify the full market picture. So shifting your focus away from your core, radio, TV, digital, what other media is at play in that local market? And Mark, how do we do that with BIA data?
Thanks, Celine. As Celine did mention, BIA's data categorizes your market into 16 different media from the years 2019 through 2028. And to start, you want to gain a comprehensive understanding. Start by identifying your media share of the overall advertising market, then analyze previous and future years to observe any changes and anticipate the future trends. In addition, you can examine your competitor shares to uncover potential sources of new revenue.
That's great, Mark. Thank you. Yeah, if you saw quickly on there, we had the different media and you could see the share. So once you understand the pool, you have to understand the fish that are in it. And some of those fish are businesses, right? So identifying our business categories, our 96 categories, it helps you provide an overview of business level opportunities, those that are spending more, those are growing share, those are expanding their annual budgets. And Mark, how do we do that? Because that's really exciting because that really gets down to the local level.
Yes, Celine, our data will assist you in breaking down the market to each of the 96 verticals. You'll be able to identify the top verticals in your market, the top growing verticals, and also see which verticals are declining. And what does this do for you? It helps you identify which verticals are ripe for the picking in 2025 because they are increasing their ad spend. BIA is not just the authority on vertical spending, but we are a third-party reference where you can look at what you're seeing and compare it to what we're seeing and identify areas that you might not be thinking about. Or it might support what you are seeing, which is great because then you know you're on the right track. Here we show a couple of screenshots from our Advantage product where we have broken out the top 10 overall spending verticals and the top 10 growing verticals. This is the kind of data that we regularly supply to our clients, whether it's inside the Advantage product or through custom data pulls. There are always the top 10 lists, but we can do it for all of them. So we can go down the list with you and look at every vertical that is important to you.
Thank you, Mark. And it's always good to hear back from, some observations from clients. I won't read the quotes to you, but just to paraphrase, these clients find our data useful for it understanding the upcoming political landscape and really bringing awareness to their teams on the nuances of political. And then also CTV, OTT ad spend was perfection from one client. So just wanted to share that with you.
Thanks, Christina. Yeah, so, political, as that we saw from that and comments from a client, political is, a big category. So, our next thing is, how do we build target budgets for business categories? The top categories for spend, those are important. And like we know, like political, or you all know, automotive is one of the key ones too. But how can BIA's data help that? Because, what you can do is you can take that target budget that political has, and you can compare it to your client list to understand how much more ad spend is available. Have you hit what we're expecting to be spent in the market from our data, or is there still some opportunity? And Mark's going to show you how to do that. Mark?
Once you have identified the most important verticals, BIA can then show you how much each vertical is spending by media and whether your media is projected to increase or decrease in the upcoming years. And this will help guide you as to where the advertising dollars are being allocated in your local market and with which business categories you may be able to increase your revenue.
Great, thanks, Mark. Additionally, once you do that, it can help you gain a piece or two of ad share. So, your business can't grow revenue unless you know what's happening with the competing media. There's only so much revenue for each media in the market and expected media in the market, spend in the market for each media. So you can set targets by identifying where ad dollars are shifting your local market. What are automotive dealers spending more on in the future or in the past? Those are the things that will help you gain a piece or two of ad share that you don't already have, because we all know that you're champions at your core media. But what about the other things in your digital sales packet bag that you sell? Mark?
Thanks, Elaine. Another way BIA breaks down the media is with media rankers. And these simply rank the media from 1 to 16 and can be used for insights into what media is just ahead of you, what media is just behind you. The media you can look at to pitch some dollars, media that is just behind you that you'll need to fend off in the upcoming years. Look at more than just 1 year. Look at current, previous, future years to show how these media allocations are changing in your market. And these changes in the media rankings will allow you to target weaker media to increase your revenue.
Had trouble finding the mute. Yeah, thanks, Mark. And another observation from one of our clients is that our insights, especially in digital, gave them the information they needed to tighten up their budgets and increase their ad share.
That's great. Thank you, Christina. Before I go on to the final strategy, we had a quick question, which is a great question. Do we look at trends, or are we using Intel directly with businesses? Yes. So we do both. So we do look at localized business data and what they're spending and ad spend numbers. And then we also look at other business dynamics, and we also look at the top level trends. And we do have more about that, and we can get to that. We'll send out some methodology to the person that asked. So a little sidetrack on that. If anybody else has any questions that you're thinking about as we go through it, please feel free to pop it in the questions window. So finally, where you were and where you're going. So we showed you a lot about where you are and what's going on around you and what businesses are doing around you, what they're doing in the future. But, in order to start the budgeting process, you need a starting point, and the starting point for your direct competitors. So if you're in radio, who are your direct radio station competitors? If you're in TV, who are your direct TV competitors? If you're in digital, who are your direct digital competitors? So we survey media companies across country, and we get that data, and we work with outside analysts to get a full market revenue view by media. And we're able to show you what that is for you and what you're up against from your direct competitors. Mark, do you want to show them how that works with BIA data?
Sure. As Celine mentioned, through surveys and public filings, also outside analysts, BIA has a strong picture of the revenue for each television and radio station in each market. And this is the place to start your budget process. Know what your share of the market was the last couple of years and use your last full year's revenue market share as your starting point. As you begin to build your budget for the upcoming year, as an example, here we will use station BBBB, which controlled 19.4% of the TV market in 2023. And next slide. Christina will talk about this more in a minute, but let me show you how you can use BIA data to set different expectations for your budget. BIA's budgeting template is completely interactive and will adjust as you enter different shares you would like to obtain in 2025. By entering Station B's 19.4 market share in the highlighted box, the budget template will automatically update to show you how much sales by month you would need to obtain within each vertical to reach that 19.4 market share in 2025. In the next slide, you can then adjust this figure to a more aggressive or conservative market share to automatically recalculate the monthly sales figures you would need by vertical. In this example, we have increased B's share goal from 19.4% to 25%, which automatically adjusts the rest of the spreadsheet. And next slide. Once you have decided on an overall share goal, it's now time to look at each specific vertical. We all have our strengths and weaknesses and know that we're not going to obtain exactly a 21% share with each of the 96 verticals. In the highlighted over/under sell column, this gives you the flexibility to adjust each vertical to your seller's strengths and weaknesses. Say account executive John has a great relationship with the largest hospital group in the market, and he's almost guaranteed to pull in a 33 share on each of their buys. You can adjust your sales rate for hospitals up to account for these successes that you know John will have with that large hospital. In another example, a largest auto dealer in the market had a problem with us in the past and hasn't bought us for years. You can adjust tier 3 new car dealers down, knowing that this is unlikely to change in the upcoming year, and we probably won't be able to hit a 21% with new car dealers throughout the market. As you make these adjustments, the adjusted market share will account for these changes. That's the other highlighted box on there to keep you on track for that overall 21 share. So you'll be able to see once you're making the adjustments by verticals where that share is going based on your adjustments and massage those changes to get you back to that 21% overall share that you're looking to obtain. I'll now pass this back to Christina to let you know how BIA can help you with this.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Celine, for showing us all the great ways our forecast data can be used to assist in the budgeting process. Our data gives you the intel you need to hit the ground running for 2025 and really helps the whole process become a lot easier. There are several different ways you can get our forecast. Next slide. So we have a couple of different ways. Option 1 is by subscribing to Advantage, which is our data visualization platform that holds all of our forecasted data. In this system, you would get all your radio or TV markets, all 16 media by 96 verticals. And what we're also going to do with this piece is our team will be able to help you with your budgeting, and we'll offer insights and recommendations for local budgeting success. So we'll offer that in addition to the entire platform. And for attending today, we have a 3-month special, which we never do. So a 3-month subscription is available, and you can see pricing right here on your screen. So we're excited to offer you that. Next slide. And just a little bit about, our clients give us high scores for our data being extremely useful and for us being a trusted market advisor. Next slide. So option 2. So this is the budgeting template that Mark talked about. And it is, we will look at one media for you for 2025 ad spend estimates and all 96 verticals. It'll help you examine your share of wallet by month, and the calculations are included in the document for easy adjustment and use. And you can see that the pricing is listed here as well for you. We have it in the presentation.